Hi everyone. So this is gonna be an interesting live because I didn't even plan to go live, and I am. So I am live on Facebook and Instagram, and I wasn't planning on going live today. I wasn't, but I just had an amazing conversation with someone, and I decided, you know what? Let me go live and talk about something it's in my mind, or rather on my mind. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So as I was saying that I didn't plan to go live today. I just had a conversation with someone, and something stuck out to me after our conversation, and I wanted to share with with everyone who joins or who probably watching this on replay. Hello, Bella Shines. So I'm on live on Facebook and on Instagram, trying to kill two birds with one stone. All right. Today's live is going to be talking about the power of your story. The power of your story. The power of your story. How's your day been, Bella Shines? While we're waiting for other people to join, how's your day been? I hope your day has been great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hello, hello, hello. Today's conversation is about the power of your story. The power of your story. So while we're waiting for people to join, tell me something about yourself. How has your day been? Let me know in the comment section, how has your day been? Has it been great? Has it been fantastic? Are you happy it's Friday? Are you happy that you're going to rest over the weekend? Do you have anything planned for the weekend? Let me know in the comment section. The power of your story. The power of your story. The power of your story. Let me know. How's your day been? Bella Shines and Hair by Dabota. How's your day been? Good? All right. So while we wait for other people to join, quick question. Whose story have you heard that has inspired you? Let me know in the comment section. Whose story have you heard that has inspired you? That has just not only inspired you, but inspired you to take action. Bella, I say you've been struggling, but you're making it through, meeting up with a friend tomorrow, so that should be good. I am happy to hear that. I'm so happy to know that you are making it through. I know about the struggle. I don't know your particular struggle, but over here, it's been a little bit intense. Work started for me again because I was on maternity leave, and then we're doing digital learning, and it's been a roller coaster ride for sure. But I'm glad that you're meeting up with a friend tomorrow, and I'm hoping that your day's gonna be better tomorrow. Your weekend will be better. Thank you for sharing. All right, so let's go into today's conversation, the power of your story. And my question is there any one story that you've heard recently that has inspired you? Let me know in the comment section, right in the comment section, whose story has inspired you recently or maybe over the years? And what is the name of that person? So what's the name of the person's story that has inspired you? And what did that person's story inspire you to do? Think about it. Don't even think it could be maybe your mom, your aunt, a friend, your sibling. Whose story have you heard that has inspired you and to take action? Whose story have you heard that has inspired you to take action? A lot of us don't know how powerful stories are. Do you know that a lot of people online or everywhere we look around they've turned their story into their message. They've turned their mess into their message. But today's conversation is not even about other people's story. I want you to focus on your own story, your own journey, your own story and your own journey. And just in conversation, I've just learned that sometimes we neglect our story and we neglect our journey because we think it is not relevant. We are like, who am I? Who am I to think that I can go into a boardroom? Who am I to think I can apply for that job? Who am I to think that I can start that business? Who am I to think that I can have a successful marriage? Have you looked at my story? Have you looked at my background? Have you looked at where I'm coming from? But my question for you is, who are you not to? That story that you think is the cause of your problem might actually be the solution to your problem. A lot of us are sitting down on our stories. I mean, your story is so powerful because it happened only to you and you survived and you are thriving. So why are you neglecting your story? You know, one of the reasons why I started Women Do Need Afraid was because of the fact that I realized that I was so quick to execute other people's ideas. Like people will come and meet me for something. I'm like, don't worry, go and rest. I will take off the stress from me. I just enjoyed organizing events, conferences. If you have any mindset block, come and meet me. I will walk you through it. That was my genius zone. That is still my expert zone. But when it came to my own idea to execute, I will give you 1,000,001 reasons why it would not work. When it came to maybe mindset block, overthinking and things like that, oh goodness, I would sit on my own and I would refuse to execute my own ideas. But I will execute other people's ideas. I will execute other people's goals and vision. Now, that story is the reason why I started Women Don't Need Afraid. I don't know if you're seeing the connection. Your story is important because it is so unique to you. But you have gone through your journey so that you can be a blessing to other people. But what you're doing is that you're neglecting your story because you think your story is irrelevant. You think your story is not important. You are thinking, look, I came from Nigeria. Okay, so I came from Nigeria. My parents did not have money, or I didn't go to a good school. No, that's not the reason why you can't have the best in life. In fact, that is the reason why you should have the best in life. Your story. Stop using your story as an excuse for why things cannot come to you. Your story is important. The question is, are you reflecting enough to see what the miracles are in your story? Are you reflecting enough to see what the signs are in your story? So my question to you again is, do you understand the power of your story? Now, I have some notes here. And it says, the first thing that it says is, your life is not a mess. Just because you had a terrible upbringing, just because you're struggling with fear, just because you feel like you're struggling with seeing wealth come to you, maybe poverty mentality, just because you're struggling with speaking up, just because you're struggling with overthinking, doesn't mean that your life is over. It only means that that is just a page of your life. That is just a phase of your life. And that is the reason why you need to break through. So your life is not a mess. It is a story that is evolving. That's the first thing. Your life is not a mess. Your background is not a mess. Your past is not a mess. It is just a story. But the question for you is, will you use that story to shine? Will you use that story to help other people? Will you use that story to have a message, to have a ministry? Will you use that story to help other people see that they can be better? Or are you going to use your story to cage yourself? Are you going to use that? So I'll give you another story. I remember when I was in high school, whenever I sing, people always laughed at me like, you have a terrible voice. Oh my goodness, stop singing. But the funny thing is that now I'm in the choir. I'm not going to say I don't have the best voice in the choir, but I'm singing. Now imagine if I let that story stop me from becoming or being or serving God in the choir. Who am I doing? I'm doing myself because of what people said at a previous phase of my life. Now that is the power of a story. And you know that I can use this story to show people that don't listen to what other people are saying. Build yourself, and you would be surprised the doors that would open to you. Again, our topic is the power of your story. Second point I have here is, we are not paying attention to key moments in our life. We are getting distracted. I believe that God is so powerful that he gives us key moments in our lives, right? For us to identify things that would stand out to us. People would maybe compliment us. Someone would say, oh, because of you, I did this. That's the key moment. Because of you, I started this. That's the key moment. But because we're so engrossed with our story, or we're so distracted by how it can't be me. How can they give me constructive criticism? How can they, compliment me? Are they sure it's me? From where I come from? Oh, no, it's just a fluke. Because we are distracted by the badness, if I can use that word, of our story, we are missing the key moment. There is someone on this call. People have told you that you are so wise that whenever they speak to you, they have clarity. Whenever they speak to you, they have the boldness. They stop overthinking. They start that business. Whenever they think to you, they have confidence. Whenever they speak to you, doors just open. They know what to do the next thing. Whenever they speak to you, they know what to say to their children, or how to be better wives, or how to be better husbands. But you are neglecting all those miracles because you are looking at things. You are distracted by, the sad areas of the mistakes you've made in the past. Stop getting distracted. Look and identify key moments and key miracles in your story. Another thing that people get distracted at is you're getting distracted by other people's story. Is that not funny? Most of us can recite other people's stories. We know how Oprah started. How she was neglected, how they didn't let her do this and do that. Now look at where she is. She has a magazine, she has weight loss stuff and all that. We know other people's story. We love them, we dote on them, we push them forward. We're inspired by their own story. But your own story, you're not inspired by. Do you think, imagine, would they give you inspiration if they just sat on their story, or if they did not understand the power of their story? They understood the power of their story. And that is why they've made their story a success. They've made their mess a message. And so we'll see people who probably got raped when they were young, who probably, had kids out of wedlock, who suffered at home or whatever, now teaching people how not to, who struggle with overthinking, teaching people how not to, or like myself, who probably struggled and understood that fear was the stumbling block, and now created a community called Women Don't Need Afraid. So people are honing their story and using their story as their message. But your own story, you're not really paying attention to it because you think it has no value. If only you knew how valuable you are. There's something that my mom always says. My mom says, no one throws stones at a tree that has no fruits. Because you are a tree that has multiple fruits, that is why the enemy is trying to distract you from the importance and the value of your story. Will you let him? Will you let him? So just think about your story again and begin to point out and identify key moments of miracles where you probably helped someone and someone has given you a compliment, where things have been positive for you. What can you learn from those moments? Right? Another thing is, you have a story, but you're pushing it away because you think it's a problem. It's your problem. Your story is not your problem. It's your interpretation of your story that is making it a problem. Again, you are a human being. And let's say you are a human being, which means you are evolving, which means B-E-I-N-G. You are being. You've not B-E-E-N. You've not been. No, you are evolving. So you can change your story. You have the power to reinvent yourself. Just because your past looked a certain way doesn't mean your future is going to look that certain way. It only means that you understand that, okay, so I've come from this background where people are always afraid to start new things. I've come from this background where no one graduates from the university. I've come from this background where people are struggling with poverty mentality. That is my story. But then this is my story moving forward. So this is my story moving forward. I've come from this background where they say I can't amount to anything. I've come from this background where people have laughed at me and mocked at me and say, what can come out of you? But that is my story. And I'm going to show people that from that story I became. So you are becoming. So you struggled. Or maybe you are still struggling. But I want you to know that is part of your story. That is not your whole story. That is a part of it. That is not you have your future ahead of you. But whatever you do with your story now is what will determine how your future will look like. I hope I'm making sense. If I am, if there's something that's sticking out to you, please put it in the comment section. Like I said, this was an impromptu live. I just want to talk about the power of your story. Number 4, I think I talked about this. Stop looking at other people's story. Be inspired by their story to take action. But let your focus as well be in yourself. Be to yourself, internally. Have moments where you sit down and you reflect. If I ask now, how often do you reflect, right? How often do you take a moment to think through your life and think through how God has seen you through, or think through the things that you have done? How often do you take time to journal? If you journal, how often do you take time to think, right? So don't put your focus on other people. Oh, she's successful because. He's successful because. So you are giving reason. Let me tell you why that is a trap. I love other people's story. I love being inspired, taking action and all that. So I'm an advocate for that. But this is where the fine line is. There are two fine lines. The first fine line is you look at other people's story and it overwhelms you, so you don't take action. Because you're like, she has this. He has that. He can speak fluently. I can't speak fluently. Or she had money. I don't have money. What you are doing with other people's stories is that you're now magnifying excuses for yourself. You are magnifying your past, the gray areas of your past. So you are refusing to make a move. So someone's story that's supposed to inspire you to action, what it's now doing is inspiring you to overwhelm, to inaction. Why? The other second fine line with looking at other people's story is you look at other people's story so much that you begin to be their champion, but you're not your own champion. Why? Can you, for a moment, just imagine if you just champion yourself? Like you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm amazing. I am intelligent. There is nothing that is impossible for me because I know who is inside of me. Oh, I might have been this in the past, but I know that my future is brighter. I might have not finished the XYZ, but I know that I'm going to finish it in XYZ amount of time. Also be a champion of yourself. champion other people, but also be a champion of yourself. Because if you're championing other people and you're not championing yourself, what do you think that will lead to? Sometimes it might lead to envy and jealousy. Champion yourself, boost yourself up, speak into your future. Let your story, let your background not take away the joy from you. So build that joy within. Champion yourself, right? Another point is, stories are also better understood in retrospect. So going back to just reflecting and thinking. There's sometimes just in life, you just shake your head because you didn't even know that what you did 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago will lead to where you are now, right? That's the funny thing about story. If they say life is better understood in retrospect, meaning things only add up after you've been through it. And that's what a word of encouragement I want to give you. You might be struggling right now. You might be in a state where you don't even know your left from your right. Don't use this phase to kill your whole life with your words. Don't use, as they say, don't throw the baby out with the baby water. Don't use one page to summarize your whole book, the whole state of your life, your whole mind. It's just a phase. It is just a phase. And you might not understand it now, but you understand it. So be patient with yourself. Be calm with yourself. Give yourself the kindness that you would give other people. Give yourself the leeway that you would give other people. Because you know that you're trying your best. It's not that you're not trying your best. You might not be seeing the results now, but you will see the results. There's a beautiful quote that I saw that said, you might not reap where you sowed, but you will reap what you sowed. I'm going to say that again. You might not reap where you sowed, but you're going to reap what you sowed. Right? So your story right now is, your story from the past is a seed, right? But your present as well is also a seed and the soil. So let your story not pull you down. Let it be something that you can hold your chest up, regardless of who's out there. And you say, yes, I was this in the past. But guess what? I survived. I tried. And that's why I'm equipped to talk about this. That's why I'm equipped to talk about, this is what my message is. Right? Another story I will give you is, I remember when I was coming to the States, and an advice that someone gave me was, you can't attain this level career-wise. You've got to start from, she mentioned a particular place, you got to start from that place, right? And yet I held on to my belief that I know that things are going to be different for me. Things are going to be absolutely different for me, right? Long story short, now I have, with my husband, I'm running, we have a training, a training school and an education provider here in Atlanta, where we are teaching people how to be successful in their career, showing them the opportunities, breaking away that limiting mindset that they might have when they come here. Because I've been through that. So you see how my story is helping other people, how his story is helping other people, saying that you can be more. You can have financial stability by choosing the right career. We can show you what your options are. Just because you're an immigrant, just because you're black, just because you have an accent, doesn't mean that you cannot be in the boardroom with other people. Doesn't mean that you cannot lead teams. Doesn't mean you cannot be more. So you see how, imagine if my story, I had just been like, wow, okay, so I'm not in an opportunity to teach people because I struggled. No, your struggle can be your message. You can be struggling and still be teaching people. You can, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. So I really hope this has been helpful, because I just want us to come into the consciousness of our story. I think just be more aware that, I've been through what I've been through for a reason. I've been through what I've been through for a reason. Nothing in this life happens by chance. Everything is orchestrated. So what is my message in my story? What am I supposed to be learning from my story? Am I supposed to teach? Maybe not. Am I supposed to help? Maybe not. Is it supposed to help me for my future? Maybe not. Whatever it is, but you need to go back to that story that you have pushed aside thinking it's your problem, because it could actually be the solution. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've gone through, your story is evolving, your message is evolving. Just shine through and use your story as a message. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know in the comment section if you've learned something, and maybe what you even learned from this video as well. There is power in your story. Don't let anybody shut you out. You know how people, when you're about to say something, don't just shut you up. Don't let anybody shut you up. Don't let anybody say, okay, so you went through that, but I went through worse. That's fine. You might have been through worse. You might have had a worse situation. But my story is my story, and I know what I went through. I was when I wore the shoes, I know where it pinched me. It is my story, and I have every right to share my story. I have every right to reinvent myself if I want to reinvent myself. If you agree to this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. And if this has been helpful for you as well, let me know in the comment section. But again, for everyone watching this on replay, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Let me know what stood out to you. Just for final words, there is power in your story. Don't shut your voice. Don't close your voice. The world needs your voice. The world needs to hear you speak. Speak out your story. And don't let just one page of your life affect the whole book. You're still evolving. You're a human being, B-E-I-N-G. So let your story be something that you understand the power in. And for everyone watching this on replay again, let me know what part of this stood out for you. What part of this stood out to you? There is power in your story. There's a reason why people start businesses. There is a story, there is a why. Don't get distracted by other people's story. If they're going to get distracted, be distracted to the level where you're inspired to take action. But also focus on yourself and your story and look for key moments, key miracle moments that have stood out that you might have neglected because you're looking at the other terrible areas of your past. No, again, your story is your story. Nobody went through your story. I don't know what you went through, but you know what you went through. And so you have every power to reinvent yourself if you want to reinvent yourself, but don't neglect your story. There's a reason why you went through what you went through. Let that be your message. Let that be the platform where you help other people. All right, till next time, till I do another impromptu live.